Several of you have enjoyed some time with her over the past couple of weeks in Heart Math class. I know for a fact I missed out. I know I did. All right, let's stand and let's sing on this awesome St. Patrick's Day. When Irish eyes are smiling. No.
I have green eyes.
Here we go.
All right, you ready? I start my, sorry.
That's okay.
My day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love, gonna start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love.
Let's sing that again.
I start my day with love, gonna start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love.
Let's go.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Ah. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. Wanna start my day with peace. I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. Gonna start my day with peace. I feel that sweet release of peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Start my day with joy. Wanna start my day with joy. Everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. Gonna start my day with joy. Everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Good job.
Well, good morning. I want to welcome you here to our Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. I'm not looking at my notes. I'm thinking I know this. Oh, well, we ought to get a good laugh. We ought to start with a laugh. It sets the tone, right? All right. On behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees and our practitioner team, I am privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. You will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of your programs, you will find the Declaration of Principles. Please join me in reading them now. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-time visitors today? We have several. Oh, how wonderful. I know we have our new bookkeeper. Would you mind standing and introducing yourself? Thank you.
My name is Kathy Lagarde. I've known Donna for quite a few years. She married me, my second husband, in 2009 at 10, and I was my second ex. So I started working for her and we were sharing positions, and I really love her. And I've been on a path to enlightenment for about 4 years.
That is wonderful. So welcome as our new bookkeeper. That's been our answer to what we've needed, and so we're so glad to have you here. There were some other hands. Do you want to be recognized or just say hi?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Connor C. I've been following the CSL path for many years and was blessed to be in Colorado Springs when it was announced that coming home is our model, and it's been a blessing. I live in Sonoran.
Oh, lovely. Glad you're here. Anyone else? Do you want to be recognized? As our new people? Do we have new people here? Maybe not. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here, and we have one in the back. Yes.
This is my sister, Regis. She says I have to.
Oh, good job, Regis.
We are Ann and Rick Roman, and we go to the Center for Spiritual Living in Reno, Nevada, and now we're snowbirds down here. Glad to be here.
Oh, great. Great. Well, we sure welcome you. And you're blessed because you're a sister of Regis. Regis is our shining star, one of our many shining stars here. We love Regis. Welcome. Yes. Thank you.
This is my mom. Nancy Hughes. Okay. We're here because this is her special birthday month, and she lives here in Green Valley. Her name is Nancy Hughes.
Nancy, happy birthday and welcome. Okay. Also, I would like to thank all the people that make this Sunday celebration possible. And first of all, that is all of you sitting out in the chairs. We would not be the same if you were not here, of course. And I also want to thank the ones who make everything flow well, to setting up, and all the many facets that go into our service. So behind the scenes people, there are many, and thank you very much. So if you would please direct your attention to the announcements that are in your bulletin. And if you're watching online, please visit us at cslaz.org.
If you are joining us for the first time, the words for our Namaste song are inside the first page of your bulletin. It's the song where the God in me greets, acknowledges, and loves and accepts the God in you. And we are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning, everyone. Happy almost spring. And happy St. Patty's Day. There's not much green around here. You did a good job, yes. Oh, and you did too.
Not even the greens are green.
That's right. Susan is green. Yay, Susan. Okay, I light our candle that represents the light that shines out of each one of you, that divine light. So let's take a breath right now. I know that there is one divine spirit, one loving, creative presence operating throughout the universe, and it resonates in each one of us. We are all one with this divine source. We have always been one with Spirit, as it has created each one of us. Thank you so much for our precious and wonderful leader, Reverend Donna, who always inspires and gives us a message to use for the week to come. Thank you for all the sweet souls that make this service possible. For Heather, who pours her heart and beautiful voice into the lovely music that we enjoy each Sunday. For this and so much more, we are grateful, and so it is. We have a demonstration. For those of you who are not aware of what we do, practitioners, our main job and source of joy is praying for each one of you. Our affirmative treatments are very powerful. So I invite each one of you, don't forget, if you've got a little concern or a huge one, we want to hear them all, because all your practitioner team and Reverend Donna and John treat for you all week. And boy, we've got a demonstration today. Would you like to come up and do that for us now? Jaya Potter.
Hi, so Reverend Donna asked us to think about our demonstrations of the Word, and I had one. It was a week ago Friday. We were down in Mexico getting some dental work done, and so we did. Everything went fine. We did the dental work, and then we went to eat at La Roca, and then we were coming across the street, and the roads down there are pretty uneven. And
my foot got caught in a crack in the road, and I fell on this side, and in 2020, I had broken the femur in 4 places when a Rottweiler pulled me down. So it was that same side. And I couldn't get up. Charlie had to help me up. I'm in the road, there's cars. It was not pleasant. Charlie helped me up, and Charlie helped me walk back to the car because I couldn't walk. And so we went home, and I couldn't bear weight. It was excruciating. It was all swollen. It was really bad. And so I laid in bed there, and can you hear me? Yeah. And I saw 2 paths. One path was me with whatever was going on with my foot. I didn't even know if it was broken, and because it was so painful and I couldn't walk on it. So I saw me and all the things we had planned to do and all the classes. I take exercise classes of different kinds. And I saw me not being able to participate in that, and the porch dancing over at Lana's house and all the things. And then I saw the other path where I was just going on like normal, like nothing happened. And so I decided I have a choice. I can go down that path and become this invalid, or I can go down this path of perfect health. So I decided to treat myself. We've been taking all these classes. Charlie and I have taken 3 in the past 5 weeks, and they're pretty intense classes. And they're all about spiritual mind treatment in the end. So I did that, and I woke up the next morning, and my foot wasn't swollen at all. I could stand up and walk without the cane. I didn't have pain. I mean, it was quite remarkable to me that overnight something like that would happen. So I recognized it as a demonstration, and I wanted to share it with you to demonstrate how powerful this stuff is. And in gratitude, I put together a small spiritual mind treatment for all of you because you're my spiritual family and I want health for you too. So, all right, I have to use glasses for this. Okay, so there's only one power in the universe, one source and one mind, and that mind is my mind now. Source created the universe and all of us, and is in all of us as it is infinite. Spirit is perfect health, wholeness, and well-being. As spirit is all there is, I recognize the oneness of all of us with spirit. There is no separation. What is true of spirit is true of us. In this consciousness of oneness, I speak my word for all of us here, that we are all perfect health right now. We were created in the likeness of divine mind, and as spirit has patterned us in divine mind, perfect health and vitality is us now. We are perfect health always. I thank you, Spirit. I am so very grateful to know this truth. I know that this truth was always there and is there now. I accept this truth, knowing it is already ours, and I am filled with thanksgiving. I release my word into the law of mind, and as I release it, I let go and I declare it done, and so it is. Wow, that is a demonstration and a half. Thank you, Jaya. And that wasn't long at all. Okay. The word we speak is the law of our lives, and nothing hinders its operation but ourselves.
That's by Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind, Big Book, page 146. A couple of seeds were laying on the ground, laying next to one another on fertile soil. The first seed said, I want to grow up and put my roots deep down into the soil, spring from the ground, feel the warmth of the sun, and reach for the heavens and blossom to fully express myself. The second seed said to the first, I'm afraid if I reach my roots into the soil, the ground may be too hard to establish myself. If I'm able to break through the surface, what might I have to face? While the stem is young, it could be damaged by the winds of spring. If it grows flowers, who knows what they might attract? I'd rather wait for a safer time. While the second seed waited for the perfect time to sprout, a chicken came by and added the seed to its lunch. True, huh? While the second seed, I'm here. The Light of the Heart, Roy T. Bennett wrote, do not let the memories of your past limit the potential of your future. There are no limits to what you can achieve on your journey through life, except in your mind. We will never know what the future holds. When you hold back out of fear, that anxious energy works to attract its corresponding manifestation. You know, we know all this stuff, but isn't it nice to be reminded up here? At the bottom of the page, this is one page, either in March or April. I won't tell you which, but get the magazine because it's full of little gems like this. At the bottom of the page, it says, my thought seeds now beautifully and courageously blossom. So let the divine be the wind at your back, and don't be like the little reluctant seed. There is another, I think I have time. I forgot what she wrote. It's laying on my table in my dining room. Peggy Bailey, and I'll try to remember this, asked for prayer way last week. I happened to talk to her that morning, and she said, I feel terrible. I'm sick to my stomach, and I'm dizzy, and I just don't know what's wrong with me. And she sounded alarmed. And Peggy is never that way. Melinda, you know that. So we went to work that Sunday. Melinda and I did a prayer together while we were here, and then during the week, all of us treated for her. The next day, she said, I feel wonderful. Was it the day or the day after? Anyway, when I talked to her, she said, I feel just wonderful. I said, oh my gosh, how did that happen? She said, well, my son came and took me to the doctor at Kaiser. And she said, I had been trying for 3 years to see this woman doctor that I knew I would like. And wouldn't it be interesting that she had an opening just that morning? So Peggy was laid down on her table, and she did a treatment for her for vertigo. And that cleared everything up, 100%. So let me tell you, this isn't coincidence. This is about prayer treatment and the power of it. Because when we treat, and when you treat, you move something in the atmosphere, something that is connected to the divine. And that divine law goes to work. The law goes to work. Do we know what that is? Okay. Anyway, she's going to be mad at me because I didn't do it right. She said she was grateful because her consciousness had shifted and that she found herself to be back to her old self again. She was grateful for our treatment, and she enclosed a check in her note. So, for the prayer team. So, thank you, Peggy. We love you. Peggy will be 94 in November this year, so she's just going and a-glowing. So anyway, have a wonderful week. I love you all. I hope you know that. Take this candle.
As Marilyn and I were going through the archives, and then we saw Reverend Donna's topic for today, and it's part of the best known Irish blessing. And there's a song out there. There are many, many songs using the Irish blessing, and this one particularly leapt out to us. It's by Kathy Ryan. It's what the Irish call. She's what the Irish call a good old girl. She plays traditional instruments and sings traditional songs. Here we go. Summertime, the sun would shine. We'd lay out in the field, sheltered in the shadow of a tree. We'd write our songs to take along and sing out on the road. And you would always sing this song to me. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine down warm upon your till we meet again, and may God hold you in the hollow of His hand. Autumn leaves would leave the trees in colors on the ground, swirling patterns beautiful to see. I'd lay my head down on your lap. I would not make a sound, and you would always sing this song to me. May the rose rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine down warm upon your land.
Winter days the trees would shiver in the wind, waiting for the warming touch of spring. You'd hold me in the firelight, we'd stare into the flames, and this is what you always used to sing. May the rose rise to meet you, may the wind be at your back, may the sun shine down warm upon your land, may the rain fall soft upon your face until we meet again. May God hold you in the hollow of His hand. May God hold you in the hollow of His hand.
I am wearing green. It looks black, but if you get in the sun, it's green. So I am not susceptible to being pinched. I'm going to use some of the words from Marilyn's song today to begin. Our theme for the month is Love Becomes Visible. And for the first week, we talked about God as a principle or an idea rather than an entity separate from us. That means that all of the attributes of God, love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, abundance, all those exist as ideas, and these ideas become visible through our perceptions, our actions, and our reactions. As Alan Watts said, and I quoted him last week, through our eyes, the universe is perceiving itself. Through our ears, the universe is listening to its harmonies. We are the witnesses through which the universe becomes conscious of its glory, of its magnificence. So we literally are God's love visible in the world. And in week 2, we use surprise as another name for God. So we're moving forward from being aware that we are God's expression in the world to ways in which we can consciously build that relationship. You know, Brother David Stendhal-Rast tells us that surprise is another name for God because through surprise, we are snapped back into the present moment. And Brother David says that the gap between surprise and our first thought is the spontaneous response of the human heart to that which is gratuitously given. This gratefulness releases energy. In the gap of surprise before that first thought, the powerful surge of an intelligence that far surpasses thought takes hold of us. And we also talked about how we could make our own surprises that help us stay in the present moment. We simply need to look at everything with new eyes, giving thanks for the simple things we take for granted, like the way our body processes food, or the clean tap water that we rely on every day. Again, love becomes visible through us because we are mindful of present moment miracles by which we are surrounded. And then we come full circle when we move, as Rabbi Shefa Gold says, from gratefulness, which began in surprise and expanded into wonder, gradually grows into generosity as we look for ways to respond to this gift of life that we are given. So, since it is St. Paddy's Day, I thought we'd look at how love becomes visible through some of the Celtic values. And my topic today is May the Wind Be at Your Back. And that is a line from the poem which Marilyn made so lovely with her voice. And some people believe that it was written by St. Patrick himself, who lived in the late 4th century, and others believe it is much older, going back to ancient Celtic cultures. The entire poem reads, "May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand." May the road rise up to meet you could be more accurately translated as, may you succeed on the road, much like the French bon voyage, good journey, good voyage, good journey. And may the wind always be at your back means that your journey is aided by nature. When a ship or plane is assisted by a tailwind, its destination is reached easily and earlier than anticipated. In sports, like running or biking, having the wind at your back means that you have that extra advantage. In fact, sometimes the winning time in sports like these are noted as wind assisted, so that if a record is broken, there's a notation of special circumstances. The two statements, having the sun warm our face and the rains fall soft on our fields, conjures a feeling of well-being that all of nature is conspiring for our highest and best good. And that's further emphasized in the final line, until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm or hollow of his hand. It's a beautiful poem, and really it's commentary about the journey that we are on and the road we're taking, that combines the essence of God as love with the elements of nature that reflect that love as comfort in supporting winds, warm sun, gentle rain. And to me, this poem expresses that love is made visible when we have shifted, and I think this is our journey, when we've shifted from spiritual practice to spiritual living. In other words, through all of our spiritual practice, spiritual living becomes second nature. And perhaps that's the culmination of our spiritual journey. Maybe this is what life is all about, to try to reach that place where we are living our practice. The ancient Irish and Celtics were in tune with the rhythms, themes, and elements of nature. For them, the woods, the trees, the hidden wells or springs, the animals were all expressions of God and therefore sacred. John O'Donohue writes, "May your inner eye see through the surfaces and glean the real presence of everything that meets you. May your soul beautify the desire of your eyes, that you might glimpse the infinity that hides in the simple sights that seem worn to your usual eyes." So as you and I move from practice to living, we begin to see everything differently. The smallest creature can create wonder. Anthony DeMello, in Taking Flight, tells a story of a prisoner who lived in solitary confinement for 10 years. He saw and spoke to no one, and his meals were served through an opening in the wall. One day, an ant came into his cell. The man contemplated it in fascination as it crawled around the room. He held it in the palm of his hand to better observe it, gave it a grain or two, and kept it under his tin cup at night. One day, it suddenly struck him that it had taken him 10 long years of solitary confinement to open his eyes to the loveliness of an ant. This past week, John and I said goodbye to our little rescue kitty, Lily. She was a vet for Life Cat. We got her when she was 15, and we've had her for 3 years. And the Animal League, which they don't usually do, but they arranged a home visit. The man who came was named John. He looked like a cowboy, complete with green boots. And he really was an angel in disguise. He was so gentle with us and so respectful of Lily. He gave us time to love on her and say our goodbyes. And as his shots began to take effect, he wrapped her gently in a blanket and carried her away to her new journey. It was both sad and beautiful. And in a few days or weeks, I'm going to be happy to do it all over again. I keep seeing her coming around the corner to her food bowl. And I keep feeling her next to me at night. And my heart goes out, by the way, to John and Gray, as they had to let their little Bella go as well. So I emailed John and told him that I imagined Lily and Bella playing together in kitty heaven. John O'Donohue says, the animals are more ancient than us. They were here from millennia before humans surfaced on the earth. Animals are our ancient brothers and sisters. They enjoy a seamless presence, a lyrical unity with the earth. Animals live outside in the wind, in the waters, in the mountains, and in the clay. The knowing of the earth is in them. The Zen-like silence and there-ness of the landscape is mirrored in the silence and solitude of animals. Somehow they already inhabit the eternal. The Celtic mind recognized the ancient belonging and knowing of the animal world. When we have loved an animal, we have felt this connection with the eternal, and we know what it is for love to become visible. Our senses, taste, touch, vision, hearing, smell, can also be catalysts for moving us into a place of belonging, of living our spirituality. John O'Donohue says the world of Celtic spirituality is completely at home with the rhythm and wisdom of the senses. When you read Celtic nature poetry, he says, you see that all the senses are alerted. You hear the sound of the winds, you taste the fruits, and above all, you get a wonderful sense of how nature touches human presence. Celtic spirituality also has a great awareness of the sense of vision, particularly in relation to the spirit world. The Celtic eye has a great sense of that interim world between the invisible and the visible, and the Celtic eye loves this interim world. In Celtic spirituality, we find a new bridge between the visible and the invisible, and the two worlds are no longer separate. They flow naturally, gracefully, and lyrically in and out of each other. So our senses are the doorways between the external world that we inhabit and the soul world that is housed within us. Our senses link us with our own divinity. The great moments that knock on the door of our life do so through our senses. Our vision is one of our most valued treasures. We have the ability to see things far away, like stars in the night sky, or up close, like beads of dew on a new leaf. As we live our spirituality, we have an incredible ability to read deep meaning into the things that we see. Our gaze is the gateway from our interior thoughts and ideas into the outer world. And sometimes a gaze is all that is needed to convey a whole bunch of words. John O'Donohue tells a story. He says, in South America, a journalist friend of mine met an old Indian chief whom he would have loved to interview. The chief agreed on the condition that they could have some time together beforehand. And the journalist presumed that they would meet and just have a normal conversation. Instead, the chief took him aside and looked directly into his eyes in silence for a long time. Initially, this terrified my friend. He felt his whole life was totally exposed to the gaze and silence of this stranger. But after a while, the journalist began to deepen his own gaze. Each continued the silent gazing for more than 2 hours. And then after this time, it seemed as if they had known each other all of their lives, and there was no longer any need for an interview. In a certain sense, to gaze into the face of another is to gaze into the depth and entirety of his life. And we can learn to do this. It takes practice, but it's worthwhile. We can allow ourselves to be vulnerable with our feelings through our gaze. And when we do that, we have opened our soul. The sense of taste is subtle and complex. In our fast-paced world, we have all but lost our ability to really taste. You know, how many times, not so much here, but I know when I lived in Los Angeles, how many times we gulped down a McDonald's hamburger while driving to a meeting to get to on time, you know? You don't even realize anything is going down your throat. In the Buddhist practice of mindfulness, eating becomes a complete experience. Each bite of an apple is to be tasted and appreciated. And according to Thich Nhat Hanh, we should be mindful of how this apple came to be. Someone planted a tree. The sun, rain, soil nourished it to produce the fruit. Someone picked it and someone else delivered it to the store where we purchased it. With one mindful bite of an apple, we should be able to appreciate this entire process and connect with it, all of it, at a soul level. So that might be something we could consider doing this week. Plan to eat a couple of meals mindfully in the silence and be mindful of each person that was involved, each element. John O'Donohue says the smell or fragrance is deft and immediate. Experts tell us that smell is the most faithful of all the senses in terms of memory. And isn't it true how the fragrance of something can take us back to childhood? You know, I knew a woman who was interviewing people in an assisted living home to help them write their life story as a legacy to their children and grandchildren. And she asked one man, "What is your first memory of smell?" And he answered, "The pickles in the barrel at the general store where my parents took me as a kid." Still remember the smell of pickles, you know? And for me, I can still remember the perfume of the peonies that graced my grandmother's walkway and the lilac tree next to her back porch. I haven't seen lilacs or peonies for years, but I can remember those smells as if it were yesterday. To become mindful of the smells and fragrances around us is to bring us to a place of soulfulness. And those that touch a past connection in our memory are the gifts that remind us that our life is rich with experience. And that brings us to our sense of hearing. John O'Donohue says, with a sense of hearing, we listen to creation. One of the great thresholds in reality is the threshold between sound and silence. All good sounds have silence near, behind, and within them. The first sound that every human hears is the sound of the mother's heartbeat in the dark lake water of the womb. This is the reason for our ancient resonance with the drum as a musical instrument. The sound of the drum brings us consolation because it brings us back to that time when we were one with the mother's heartbeat. As with sight, we can cultivate the gift of hearing beyond words. There's a sweet story of a little boy who found out his neighbor had just lost his wife. He told his mother he was going to see this man who was his friend. When he returned, the mother asked, "What did you say to him?" "Nothing," the little boy answered. "I just helped him cry." When we are living our spirituality, we are mindful of others, and we have a sense of not only what we should say, but what we shouldn't. And often it is our listening that is the most welcome. Touch in the world of touch brings us out of the anonymity of distance and into the intimacy of belonging. Humans use their hands to touch, to explore, to trace, and to feel the world outside of them. Touch communicates belonging, tenderness, and warmth, which fosters self-confidence, self-worth, and poise. A group of students were practicing a precise form of meditation that was quite intense, requiring them to sit in silence for a very long time. The leader saw that one young man was having trouble and gently put his hands on the student's shoulder. Afterward, the student came to him and said, "I was just about to get up and walk out. I didn't think I could do it. But when you patted my shoulder, I knew I could. Thank you." We don't know the power of touch. Americans don't touch as much as people from other countries. You know, I was married to an Argentinian, and all of our Latin American friends would put their arms around each other or hold hands when they walked down the street, even the guys. And they were so comfortable with this way of touching each other that I was jealous, really. You know, I didn't come from a touchy-feely family or a touchy-feely culture. As you and I celebrate the wearing of the green today, may we be reminded in that Celtic tradition to be sensitive to the gifts of nature that are all around us, from the cycles of days and seasons to each creature and living thing that shares this beautiful planet. May we be mindful of the gifts of each of our senses, as they are the means by which we bridge the two worlds in which we live. And finally, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, I want to close with a Celtic blessing for the senses. May your body be blessed. May you realize that your body is a faithful and beautiful friend of your soul. And may you be peaceful and joyful and recognize that your senses are sacred thresholds. May you realize that holiness is mindful gazing, feeling, hearing, and touching. May your senses gather you and bring you home. May your senses always enable you to celebrate the universe and the mystery and possibilities in your presence here. May the eros of the earth bless you. Namaste. Thank you. This should be fun.
We're coming. Downtime. Thank you. All right. You ready to have some fun? Yes. Nice.
How many of you are familiar with the Irish Rovers? A few, okay. All right, well, in, I want to say 1964, Shel Silverstein wrote a poem called The Unicorn. And the Irish Rovers picked it up, and all of a sudden it became an Irish song. And and it's funny because I think I was telling you, wasn't it, that it's quite ironic that it became an Irish song because the unicorn is the official state animal of Scotland.
Close
Yes. A long time ago, when the earth was green, there were more kinds of animals than you'd ever seen. They'd run around free while the world was being born, but the loveliest of all was the unicorn.
Ready? There were green alligators and long-necked geese, the humpty-back camels and the chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, for sure as you're born. The loveliest of all was the unicorn. Now God seen some sinning and it gave him some pain. He said, stand back, I'm gonna make it rain. He said, hey brother Noah, I'll tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo and take some of them green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some rats and cats and elephants, as sure as you're born.
Don't you forget
The unicorn.
I see Bruce, I see you too. You know what that means? You get voluntold. Do you want to come up and teach everybody the hand movements? Ow! Oh, Noah was there to answer the call. He finished up making the ark just as the rain started pouring. He marched in the animals 2 by 2. He called out as they went through. Hey,
Your
Lord,
turn.
I got
Got some green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants.
But
As
Lord,
sure
I'm
as
so forlorn.
I just can't see no unicorn. Woohoo! Then Noah looked out through the driving rain. Them unicorns were hiding, playing silly games, nick-kicking and splashing while the rain was pouring in. Oh, them silly unicorns. Ready 3 alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some rats and...
Close the door, the rain is pouring. We just can't wait for no unicorn. The ark. Oh, I'm sorry, that was your line.
No, that's your line.
It is?
Yeah. Well, I'll sing it if you want to do it together.
The ark started moving, it drifted with the tide. The unicorns looked up from the rocks and they cried. The waters came down and sort of floated them away.
Now it's mine. And that's why you never seen a unicorn to this very day. You'll see green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some rats and cats and elephants. As sure as you're born, you're never gonna see the unicorn. Nice job.
You never know what you're going to get in this place. Isn't that fun? Thank you. Okay, I know we're running a little late, so it's time for our offering, a chance to put that law of divine circulation in process. So won't you join me in our offering affirmation on the left-hand side of your bulletin? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, God, for you, God, for everything.
Thank you, Annie. And thank you for your generosity that allows us to be a beneficial presence not only in this center, but in this community as well. So let's take a moment to close this portion out in prayer. Please join us for refreshments. And if you're new, please plan on staying for a moment so that we can get to know you a bit better. So I know that there is one life, and this life is animated through you and through me. I know that there is one divine intelligence, and that divine intelligence flows through our hearts, our minds, our thoughts, and our actions. I know that there is one love, and that love is expressed through each and every one of us as we are truly love becoming visible, God's love becoming visible. I give thanks for the opportunity to be here with my spiritual family, and I speak my word for anyone experiencing any kind of pain, discomfort, tragedy, hurt, and know that right where those seeming bad things are is the power and presence of God. I know that all is well as we turn to that which is beyond who and what we are. And I know that things do change as we change our thoughts. And so we release these words into divine mind, knowing that we are doing, that it's doing its perfect works. And we just simply say together, and so it is. Thank you very much. Can we stand and sing stand? Dawn?
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We